Hello students, we will see today about the magnetic properties of solids. So these magnetic properties of solids, those are explained by the spinning of electron. The spinning of electron, it acts like a tiny magnets because their spinning action generates induced magnetic field. If an orbital contains one or unpaired electron, the unbalanced spin exhibits magnetism. Means if a solid has to be a magnetic one or pair, the spin is balanced and no magnetic property is observed. Solids are classified depending on their magnetic properties as diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. So up till here it is given in the HSC board textbook, 12th standard textbook, and these two more are there, that is antiferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic. So in this video I'll talk about this diamagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic, and remaining two we'll talk on in the next video. So what is this diamagnetic? The diamagnetic substances are those with all electrons are paired and are weakly repelled in magnetic field. Those are weakly repelled in magnetic field. Okay, so these are weakly repelled in magnetic field. So the electrons are all the electrons present in diamagnetic solids, those are paired one. And these substances are said to be diamagnetic. Now pairing of electron, it balances the spins. So the pairing of electron, so paired electron, they balances the spin of the electron and hence they cancel their magnetic movement. So the magnetic movements are cancelled. In case of magnetic movements are cancelled in case of diamagnetic substance. Now what is this magnetic movement is actually? Magnetic movement, it is nothing but this magnetic movement is nothing but the product of, it is product of distance between its poles. Poles means positive and negative pole. Positive and negative pole, that is what we call as a dipole. And the strength of either pole. Strength of one of the pole. Strength of either pole. Or both the poles, you can say. So this is the product of distance between the poles and their strength. That is what we call as the magnetic moment. Now here this is about the diamagnetic substances. Now here examples we can quote about these diamagnetic substances as N2, like N2, F2, NaCl, then H2O, benzene. These are some of the examples. These compounds are solid. If they appear in a crystalline solid, they show diamagnetic properties. Now here, it shows no magnetism, isn't it? So all the electrons are paired here. So if you want to just distinguish between diamagnetic and paramagnetic, you just remember this diamagnetic solids, they always have, or the substances, they always have even number of electrons. Means if even number of electrons are present, those can be classified as a diamagnetic. Now look at this, N2. Atomic number of nitrogen is 7. So 7 plus 7, 14 electrons are there. So this is the even figure, even number. So it is diamagnetic in nature. F2, atomic number is 9. 9 plus 9, 18 electrons are there. So it can be categorized as a diamagnetic. In case of sodium chloride, this atomic number of sodium, it is 11, means it contains 11 electrons plus 17 electrons from chlorine here. So 17 plus 11, it is equal to 28 electrons. So again, it is a even number. H2O, that is 16 plus 2, so it equals to 18 electrons. Again, an even number. Benzene, that is C6, means 36 plus 6 equals to 42 electrons, again an even number. So all these compounds or the substances can be categorized as a diamagnetic one, and they have zero magnetic moment. Zero magnetic moment. Isn't it? Now this magnetic moment mu can be calculated by using this equation n into n plus 1 under root of n into n plus 1, where this n is nothing but the number of unpaired electrons. So there are no unpaired electrons are present in diamagnetic substances. Now here there is one exception here. This titanium dioxide, that is TiO2, it is diamagnetic actually, but shows paramagnetism. It shows paramagnetism or behave as a paramagnetic one due to presence of slight non-stoichiometry. Non-stoichiometry. We have studied in detail stoichiometric defects and non-stoichiometric defects. So due to this non-stoichiometry in the molecular formula, it might show paramagnetic nature. Otherwise, it would be a diamagnetic one. So this is about the diamagnetic compound where all the paired electrons are there, and that is responsible for the diamagnetic nature. Now the next, that is paramagnetic substances or paramagnetic solids. So what are these paramagnetic solids or substances? So these solids, they have unpaired electrons are there. They contain unpaired electrons and are weakly attracted. These are weakly attracted in magnetic field. Of course, in magnetic field or by magnetic field. Weakly attracted by magnetic field. I mean, you can place a magnet like this, two magnets if you keep this, and if you keep the substance here, which is supposed to be a paramagnetic one, north and south pole, it will be attracted in this magnetic field. Okay. Now, these are weakly attracted due to the presence of unpaired electrons here. When we say weakly attracted, means those will be strongly, there will be strong repulsion in magnetic field, isn't it? Weak attraction means the strong repulsion here. Now these solids exhibit magnetism in presence of external magnetic field only. So they are behaving as a magnetic one in presence of external magnetic field. Remember, this is important in case of paramagnetic solids. So external magnetic field is needed to behave this paramagnetic solid as a magnetic one, isn't it? Or to show the magnetism. And if the external magnetic field is removed, so in absence of, or if it is removed or removal of external magnetic field, they lose their magnetism, or magnetism is lost. Okay, so this is again important about this paramagnetic solids. Now, as I told, in case of diamagnetic substances, they contain even number of electrons, whereas these paramagnetic substances, they contain odd number of electrons. Remember, odd number of electrons. For example, here I can quote some examples like Cu2 plus. So the atomic number of copper here is 29. When you write here Cu plus 2, means 2 electrons are lost. So now the total number of electrons will be 27, which is an odd figure. So it behaves as a paramagnetic one. Okay. So this is in general way you can categorize paramagnetic and diamagnetic solids or substances. Another example here, Fe plus 3, where there are 23 electrons. Its atomic number, it is 26 actually, Fe 26. When you write plus 3 here, that is Fe plus 3. When you write Fe plus 3, 3 electrons are lost. So 26 minus 3, it will give you 23 electrons, which is again an odd number. Likewise, you can put one more example, chromium, where chromium it is 24 atomic number. 3 electrons are lost. Now it is left with 21 electrons. Again, it is a paramagnetic one. Okay. Now there are some exceptions to these also. There are some substances which even they are containing this uh, 10 and 16, means they are showing this with the even number of electron, but still they are paramagnetic in nature, like oxygen. So 10 electrons and 16 electrons. If the total is coming out to be 10 or 16, even though these numbers are even, but still they are behaving like a paramagnetic one. Okay, so oxygen here, 8 plus 8, it gives 16 electron. Okay, and it is paramagnetic in nature. Even though it is an even number, still it behaves as a paramagnetic one. It is supposed to be theoretically to show diamagnetic nature, but it behaves as a paramagnetic, and the reason for it is explained by molecular orbital theory, which is explained by molecular orbital theory. So you can go through the molecular orbital diagram for this oxygen. Here you will see that there are presence of non-paired electron, which is responsible for this paramagnetic nature of this oxygen molecule. Another example like B2, where there are boron is 5, atomic number 5 plus 5 equals to 10 electron, and even though it is a showing even number of electrons, total number of electrons, but still it is paramagnetic one. Okay, so these are few exceptions. Now the next we proceed further for the third type of category, that is a ferromagnetic solid. Ferromagnetic solid. Now the substances or the solid containing large number of unpaired electrons. Large number of unpaired electrons are present and are attracted strongly. So there is a strong attraction when they are kept in external magnetic field. Okay, and these are said to be ferromagnetic one. And these solids are permanently magnetized. So the magnetism exists permanently, remember. So these are permanently magnetized when they are kept in external magnetic field. Means even after you remove the, after removal of external magnetic field, still they show magnetism. After removal of external magnetic field, they retain their magnetism. Retain magnetism. So this is the main difference between the ferromagnetic and paramagnetic. In both the cases, they contain unpaired electron. Comparatively, there is a strong attraction in case of ferromagnetic, and in case of paramagnetic, we are just seeing that if the external field is magnetic field is removed, they lose their magnetism. But these ferromagnetic substances, those are permanently magnetized. Means even if the external magnetic field is removed, they retain magnetism. So this is the difference between paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. For example, like Fe, CO, cobalt, nickel, Gd, then CrO2, chromium dioxide. So these are used, so this CrO2, it is used to make magnetic tapes. Magnetic tapes used in cassette recorder. So these are the some of the substances which show ferromagnetism. Now, why there is a existence or appearance of ferromagnetism? It arises due to the spontaneous alignment of magnetic moments. So this ferromagnetism, it arises due to, it is due to spontaneous alignment, of magnetic moment. I just told you what is magnetic moment. It is the product of difference between the distance between the poles and the strength of either pole, isn't it? So it arises due to the spontaneous alignment of magnetic movement, and this magnetic movement, it arises due to the presence of unpaired electrons, isn't it? So the unpaired electrons, and again magnetic movement, it arises due to unpaired electrons. Okay, so unpaired electrons should be there and in the same direction. So the direction is also same. It's all the electrons, those will be aligned with the same speed, in the same speed or in the same direction. Means you can show this diagrammatically like this. If the compound of the substance is ferromagnetic, it will align the electrons in this direction. That is with the parallel speed. The parallel speed. Now, what is actually happening when this ferromagnetism is shown by the substance or the solid? So we'll talk in a little in detail about the mechanism of this magnetism of ferromagnetic substances. So what is the mechanism of magnetism or magnetization? You can use magnetization of ferromagnetic substances. Ferromagnetic substances. Okay. So now unpaired electron in one atom interacts strongly with the unpaired electron of the neighborhood atom, because we are talking about the solids, so number of atoms will be present there. So unpaired electron which is present in one atom, so unpaired electron in one atom, it interacts with the unpaired electron in neighborhood atom. Okay, so here neighborhood atom. So they align themselves spontaneously in a common direction or in the same direction in a small volume of the solid, which is called as a domain. Means the number of electrons which are aligned. It means if you take small volume of the solid, so those electrons will align themselves in the same direction, likewise as I showed earlier also. So they align themselves in the same direction, and this is called as a domain. In the small part of the crystal or the solid, including the positive and negative poles in them, which is nothing but the unpaired electron. When we say the crystalline solid or the ionic solid, positive and negative poles should be there. Okay? So this is small portion of this crystalline solid or a small volume, it is called as a domain. Or you can use the another word, that is a dipole also. That is two poles, positive and negative poles. So the magnetic movements of all the atoms in domain are parallel to each other. So this is actually the parallel position of the magnetic movements. And they possess a net magnetic moment also. So here there is some net magnetic moment. This net magnetic moment or the total magnetic moment, that will be due to the presence of number of atoms. Means each and every atom will have its own magnetic moment, and if you combine those together, that is called as the net magnetic moment or the total magnetic moment. Now in absence of this happens when you keep this substance in a magnetic field, remember. So external magnetic field has to be applied here, remember. So now in absence of external magnetic field, the direction of, in absence of external magnetic field, this direction of magnetic movements is different in different domains, and those are randomly oriented in different direction. So the direction of magnetic movement is different in different domain are randomly oriented. Those are randomly oriented means what? I'll explain this oriented in different direction. I'll explain this by showing you drawing some diagram here. Means what? If you arrange this, if you are considering a domain in which the electrons are there, those are called as a domain. Those will be arranged this way, okay, with a different direction. In this happens in absence of external magnetic field. Remember, this happens in absence of external magnetic field, and they will align in one direction. This is the domain in absence of external magnetic field. Okay. Now, when you keep this in magnetic field, these domains or these electrons which are aligned in different direction, they will, these domains will, this is one domain, small domains are there. So these small domains, you can see this one, this one, this one, and this one. So they will expand here. They will create some space for themselves. And you can show this way here. That is, it's the same thing if I have to draw. This is expanded one. And they will align them in the same direction. Here still it is not aligned. The whole of the domain, it is not aligned in the same direction. But if we keep it is for some more time, they will align themselves in the same direction. So these electrons which were oriented in different directions, in different domains, those in presence of magnetic field, they align themselves in a particular direction. Okay. Now, when external magnetic field is applied, then the domains in which the magnetic moments are parallel to the external field, now they expand at the expense of the remaining domain, and all the magnetic moments align themselves in the direction of the external magnetic field. And I did not show the external. This is the direction of external magnetic field. Okay. Now all these things which is in the last diagram, here you can see this, these are aligned according to the external magnetic field. They align themselves in an external magnetic field. So in short, this is the way, or this is the mechanism of the appearance of the creation of the ferromagnetism in the substance. Now in the next video, we'll talk about the antiferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic solids. Thank you.